It's returned, and it's very good when you land on the right roll for you. I have a lot to say about this one, a lot. I feel that there's clear roles to look for in PvE, but there's roles that are to the player. One size doesn't fit all. PvE, though, I feel is pretty solidified on what to look for. As far as the Crucible, lots of variation on how you want to go about it, player preference. I have mine. I want to talk about why I chose a particular role. So my goal overall is to show some of these god roles and help you pick the right one for you. Gone but never forgotten. I love this thing. Comes from Gambit. Over the weekend, there was double Gambit rep. That's the time to go for these because it's just one Ingram to focus the Bygone. And the more resets that you have, the more perks you get in each column. That's useful because it's a monster perk pool. Very interesting combinations and powerful ones. But I first want to start with the stat package and get right into one of the most important things, the recoil. When you compare it to some of the other popular 390s, they're to Axiom 6 out, Joram 6 out a little bit, but Bygones has the right stats where it needs them. High range, high stability, and as we know, it comes down to the perks on top and what you can do with it. Bygones has the perks and all those things to elevate. But a big part of this weapon, and I'm taking some time on it here, it's the recoil. There's a little give and take, and what I need you to do is to see if you can deal with certain things, and if not, there is a different route that you should go with. And even if you can deal with some of the things, some recoils are just flat out better and might be overall better for you. Deterministic recoil is a special thing. The base recoil is 69, and this is tied for by far the worst. It has a hard trail to the left. Not only that, the trailing, the actual burst is diagonal, and of course you can play to this. It's fine when you do. It works, it can work. M&K is a tad easier, but this is tied as the worst recoil for it. The base recoil. Next is 79, the tie, the second worst recoil. And this is with the recoil barrel, extended chambered. It's the same thing, but to the right, a diagonal burst to the top right. And honestly, I feel that this is just a tad worse than base, but both of them are pretty bad. And as I go on here, if you aren't feeling Bygones, I think this might be a huge reason why, because next is 84, adding in a counterbalance mod, and look at that, vertical. Sometimes in other patterns, the last three bursts trail to the left a little bit, but they're still vertical, not diagonal. It's a night and day thing. Very, very noticeable. I'm going to talk about it more in a second. 94 is a counterbalance mod and a barrel. And what you're going to notice here, it trails to the left, but it switches between two bursts. One goes diagonal to the left, and then it goes vertical. Diagonal, then vertical. It just kind of shifts as you shoot. And that's kind of getting back to what we saw earlier with the first two. This is way better, though, than a fully all-the-time diagonal burst, but it's still not very good in comparison. We get to 99, which is arrowhead break, and this is vertical. And this time, just how I talked about with the 84, like at the end, the final 3 or 4 bursts can have a slight trail, but those are vertical. And this is a good one. It's one of the best recoil directions. We then get to 100, which is a counterbalance mod on top of arrowhead. And look at it. It's beautiful. Masterpiece. That's all in though. Like you lose some range because of arrowhead. You lose a mod like ballistics because of that counterbalance mod, but you gain consistency. I'm going to talk about that as I go. Off of the rip, if you're having trouble with Bygones, put on a counterbalance mod. Not on a barrel though. For me, it made a world of difference, and it is the difference actually. Like I took consistency with that counterbalance mod over adding in ballistics, and that new one gives +6 range, +6 stability. It's very good, but the weapon plays a ton different when you get that direction right. So revisit Bygones if you weren't feeling it at first. Honestly, that's one of the most important things you can take away from this whole review, PvP-wise. PvE doesn't matter too much, Crucible-wise, world of difference. On to the perks, it's a mega perk pool, and I don't get into all the perks, just highlight the sought-after ones. The traits run and gun, rapidly defeat targets, gain bonus sprint speed. It is what it is. But I first want to start with PvE, the main role, at least to me, is shoot to loot kinetic tremors. And you know I got this thing. I even got 2 of them. I've been all over this combination since it came out, and the combination's only on 5 weapons in the entire game. Breakneck, the only auto rifle, Midnight Coup, the only hand cannon, Hung Jury, the only scout rifle, Battle Scar, and now Bygones. This is the second pulse with it, and Bygones is better. I love that Battle Scar. It's a great tool to have, but Battle Scar is the lowest statted 390 in the game, but it had that utility. It was okay. Bygones just is better with the range, stability, everything. And I've talked about that Battle Scar all the way back into Season 20. You can do so much with this role, and nowadays it gets better and way more interesting. Shooting an orb of power picks it up, shooting an ammo brick picks it up, and automatically reloads all of your equipped weapons from reserves. It's great. Enhanced gives you +5 range. Kinetic Tremors sustain damage and emits a shockwave to damage nearby targets. And Kinetic Tremors is at the top as far as a kinetic weapon, one of the better perks for it. There needs to be more competition. There needs to be similar perks like this so people will want to use them. Enhanced Kinetic Tremors, they come out in less shots. So in this case, 1 less bullet, 10 instead of 11. In practice, look at this lost sector. It's unstoppable and overload. My loadout is this Bygones, the baton with attrition orbs under over, and a bait and switch edge transit. I have on double void surge, I have on better already, stacks on stacks, and I can shoot this GL, weaken them. Stun and overload. Drops orbs because of attrition orbs from a distance. I switch to the kinetic tremor Bygones. Pick up those orbs with kinetic tremors. That's the best thing about this role. A wide area to pick up the orbs. and then go into bait and switch on the weakened target. I mean, come on. That rocks. That's good stuff. And in the Lost Sector, I did it to all those targets. The Unstoppable, Overload, the Boss. That's a great loop. And it's a perfect weapon combo for this Lost Sector. And every time that orb is picked up from kinetic trimmers, the GLs are reloaded. It's like having auto-loading on them. And remember, since it's an orb, maybe I got shot, I'm weak, that orb's picked up with kinetic trimmers, better already is proc from that orb. Anything that you get from an orb, you just get from a distance. So in this case, health. More range than Battle Scar. You could run something like Backup Mag, but mine has synergy. Final Blows can create an Orb of Power. So this Orb of Power with Shoot to Loot, that's on top of my Attrition Orb GL. That's on top of the Siphons. It's just awesome. Only a few weapons could do it, and Bygones is now the best pulls. And it's always good to have a variety of these types of weapons when they come out because of champions each season. In this case, Unstoppable. There's also enhanced Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors, Lane of the Target, a champion, at a distance. You spawn an orb from Attrition Orbs, you pick it up with Kinetic Tremors. That's only on 4 weapons. 4. And that's going to be good. I do prefer the Shoot to Loot one because I know what I get from it, but that's also a role to look for. Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors. And a special note for Desperate Measures, believe it or not, that's really rare on a kinetic weapon. That perk rolls on 61 weapons, only 5 are kinetic. This is one of those 5. We have Demolitionist Firefly, and that's a fun one. Check this out. That only rolls on 5 weapons in the game. The cool part is the combo has been reserved for only raid weapons. Bygones is the only non-raid weapon to have Demolitionist Firefly. The Firefly collaterals count as demo energy. Pretty fun. Firefly has built-in reload on the headshots, demo for the grenade energy, throw the grenade, bypass a reload. It's one to look for. There's all around good combinations like Demolitionist Frenzy, that's never bad. You can work with High Ground, maybe Vorpal. There's some things to look for. But at the top, Shoot to Loot Kinetic Trimmers. I love it, just like I loved it on Battle Scar. But couple cool ones, Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Trimmers, Demolitionist Firefly. Moving on to the Crucible, Bygones has been one of the most fun weapons to use in PvP's history. Like, it is so fun, there's just something about it. And I want to start off with this. The base time to kill on these 390s, keep them in check. It's a 0.93. It's not great, but the moment you flinch a hand cannon or they miss, it's an easy cleanup because these have a lot of ease of use. And you can win duels off of the flinch game, the distance game, your positioning, and people miss just in general. There are some dueling roles that I want to talk about, but mainly a damage perk 390 is very powerful. And I've always thought it's one of those powerful things in the Crucible. I've always thought that because they're so easy to use. There's a lot of forgiveness. That 0.93 goes to a 0.6, and it's mostly going to be a 0.53, a 5 bullet kill. That's tier 9 and below. It's a 2 burst. And especially this one, it's very easy to use, like right here versus a machine gun. This is kill clip, just absolutely wrecks. Like, you don't want any part of a damage perk 390, you don't. But as far as damage perks, one of those perks to look for is High Ground. It's new to the class. We've seen it on rapid fire pulses, but not on a 390. On a 390, it pushes the threshold. No perk trigger, just be higher than enemies, and you can 2 burst them. The 0.6, let's just establish how strong that is. Just go to a spot, 2 burst and go. The perk refreshes, you're gonna have that damage until you get another kill or the timer runs out. This one's held in high regard for Bygones because it's just free damage for being like 1 meter higher than your enemy. And on this one, I have Zen Moment, Perpetual Motion. And one thing I want to make clear with some of these combinations, I don't think that there's a main perk combo. It's just different flavors, because who's saying no to Zen Moment, High Ground, Perpetual Motion, High Ground when you land the Barrel Mag Masterwork? And you're going to notice I went with a counterbalance mod over enhancing it and going for ballistics. And that would be 79 range, 61 stability, 81 stability with Perpetual Motion. That mod adds 0.76 meters. So right under a meter of overall fall off distance. I value the recoil over that, the consistent vertical burst. There's keep away High Ground. Like, it's all preference and it's all just what you get. But High Ground in general, very, very good. And remember, it's like Rampage. Once you just get a regular kill, non-High Ground, it goes to High Ground 2. And at 2, it's still 2 bursts. So whether you use it just regular, enemy to enemy, or you start off on High Ground, the 2 burst is there. But all of these are very good and you're going to be happy with them. Lone Wolf High Ground. And Lone Wolf's a very good perk. Keep away High Ground, Zen Moment, Perpetual Motion. It can be very, very lethal and it's easy to use. Another damage perk, and this is actually the full role that I wanted above all, and I got it, and I'm going to talk about my reasoning, and that's Perpetual Motion Kill Clip. And we've seen this, right? Nothing special. But for me, the stat package of Bygones, mine's Hammer Forged, Tac Mag, and with the magazine, sure, Ricochet is ideal, but within that mag column, there's a couple things that give +5 range. Tac Mag's one of them, so I got one. That's all that matters to me. And it's got a range masterwork. 73 on the stat bar, 36.5 meters of range. And the result of Perpetual Motion 2 is 73 range, 75 stability, 66 handling, 76 reload. It's juice. It's straight juice. Because I look at it like this. More stability is a tighter grouping of the burst. More stability is more anti-flinch. It's more snappy. I have the range. When this thing's at base and I don't have kill clip, this thing's a laser and helps me win duels. This is what I'm working with on the base weapon, and when I do have kill clip, it's even more lethal. I'm loving it, but it's preference. And again, I chose a counterbalance mod here instead of the ballistic mod. I'm not missing that 0.76 meters of range. I'm not missing the 6 stability. I have perpetual motion. I'm valuing the consistent vertical burst. And with kill clip, another damage perk, all of those things, keep away, lone wolf, zen moment, like all so good. Most are gonna want keep away kill clip or keep away high ground. The added range is great. Like you can get up to 90 range with full bore, and that's crazy for a 390. It's also worth noting Desperate Measures on this. Desperate Measures 1 is 10% more damage, and that's the same as Radiant. Desperate Measures lasts for 7 seconds. This is a sleeper perk for it, because tier 7 to 10, the 0.6 TTK, 6 crits, tier 6 and below, 5 crit, 1 body. And earlier I talked about it's kind of rare for a kinetic weapon to have Desperate Measures. Nothing wrong with this. It's just as lethal as high ground, it's just as lethal as kill clip, and this lasts longer. As I said, different flavors. I also want to talk about some dueling roles if you want to go that route. One particular one, if you get it, you gotta try it. Straight up, no joking. This is probably the best feeling weapon I've ever used in Destiny. I've used a lot of weapons. It's Lone Wolf Headseeker, and I first started using this on Vantage Point, the Onslaught 390. Lone Wolf gives you 10 aim assist, 10 AE, and a 0.9 ADS multiplier. When it's enhanced, 11 aim assist, 12 AE, and a 0.85 ADS multiplier. When you're alone, the stats are doubled, so 22 aim assist, 24 AE. This pulse rifle gets to 81 aim assist, 89 with double targeting in Lone Wolf. And then you have Headseeker. Body shots landed increase precision damage and aim assist for a short time. So all of this together, that aim assist, it's wild. Feels awesome to shoot and duel with. So if you get the roll, try it. It's amazing. It's fun. I also tried things like keep away closing time. It was okay, but getting to half mag on a 390 pulse didn't feel too good. It did all right. There's Lone Wolf Eye of the Storm. There's strong dueling rolls, but you deal with the 0.93 TTK, which is fine, but the lethality comes from damage perks on these. So in this case, kill clip, high ground, sleeper, desperate measures. All are good. You're going to be happy with them. For the barrel mag and masterwork, ideally range and stability, so that could be hammer forge, small bore, full bore, ricochet, or just a +5 range mag option, range masterwork. Mod spot, really consider a counterbalance mod if you're not getting to 99 or 100. World of difference. Very impressive weapon, and it's so fun to use. I plan to use it in my rotation of weapons as I'm playing. Made for 6v6, but the top rolls, like a high ground one, can definitely be used in 3v3. Because like I said, once you get them going, you don't want any part of them. It's all preference, a lot of luck. There is something here for you. You just have to find it and try it. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Bygones down below. What roles are you liking? Why are you liking them? Tell us about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.